Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Creativity Broadcast. Me and my light filtering curtains are here to do another reading for you. This is for all of the creatives out there on their own quest. We're going to tune in and see what the creative muses have to say to us today. And I'm going to start again with the amazing Sacred Rebels Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Always such a powerful start. So let's go ahead and just take a deep breath while I set up our first reading. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see. Okay, so normally, if you've seen me read before, normally what I do is spread out all of the cards. It's just sort of, it's not even the way that I learned how to do readings. It's more just the way that has kind of evolved for me and spoken to me. I have this sort of like weird need to spread out everything and then sort of ask to be shown where my finger should go to select the card. And it's almost like this weird feeling of like every card needs to have an even chance of getting selected. I don't know. It's sort of weird. But occasionally a card will just jump out while you're kind of preparing the deck. And I always think that that's kind of like a magical moment, you know? And so what I think is extra special, if you notice the artwork, this is the artwork on the back of all of the cards in this deck. The one that jumped out is this one card that is sort of like the kind of like baseline theme of this particular deck. It's called Beyond the Mind, the Heartbeats. So let's take that as our kind of overarching message and let's see what's here to be connected with today. In the chaos of modern life and the constant fluctuations of our minds, it can be difficult to remember that a sublime sanctuary lies within. Yet it is always here. Beneath the ceaseless activity, there is an endless, vast spaciousness that restores and connects us to something greater, something that exists outside of time. Some might call it eternity. Within that sanctuary, sacred sound is felt rather than heard. That sacred sound is actually the reverberating heartbeat of the entire universe. Wow. So I think that this message is for those of us who are perhaps struggling today with the big picture of it all, struggling with how am I going to get where it is that I want to go. I feel like the energy of this is very combative, almost like I really need to be moving in a certain direction and either it's not going enough or I'm not enough in order to get there, and just like really feeling that really hard today. You'll have to comment and let me know if that's resonating. So I feel like this card is a reminder that no matter where we are in our projects or our transformation or our life journey, it is one of those moments where it like matters and doesn't matter how it is. If it's the perfect vision of everything that we wanted or if we're a huge failure, like regardless, I mean, those are all total interpretations, you know, but like regardless of where we find ourselves on any kind of internalized spectrum of failure or success, we're still part of the beating heart of the universe. We're part of everything. We're connected to everything. So whether we're feeling like we're succeeding or not, we still are part of everything. And just how comforting that is and how much that matters. It's kind of like the image that I'm getting as I'm talking about this is thinking about the animal kingdom, not the theme park, though I usually am thinking about the Animal Kingdom theme park. Thinking about like the kingdom of animals, like fauna out there, and you know, pick an ecosystem, and there isn't like those animals don't stratify themselves based on whether or not they think they're doing well enough or they're any good or they're fulfilling a purpose. Like they just exist. And many of them actually need each other in order to exist. So I think that's a really powerful reflection. You'll have to let me know if that's landing today when it comes to your creative life. So one other thing I want to share from this reading, from the guidebook, is it says, "This oracle comes with guidance for you. Deep within, you know what to do and you know what is true. It matters not whether the mind and its plans seem to agree with your inner sense. Your willingness to trust your heart and to rebel against fear will serve you well. Let your heart lead you. Be sure of your faith and trust in what you feel." I think this is one of the most powerful messages for anyone on a creative journey, because so much of following your creative self is trusting yourself. And a lot of that happens through feeling. And we are overly conditioned in today's world to cut off from our feeling. Yeah, I think on my end, I've also been receiving so many messages lately about not listening to the fear during this particular part of the journey that I'm on. I feel sort of in some ways, both creatively and in my business, which is also like a super creative endeavor in my life. I'm feeling very much like at the beginning of a new cycle and the beginning of a new chapter. And so there's kind of this sense in moments like that of nervousness of like, not only is it okay that I'm doing this, but also, is it okay for me to do? Am I going to be okay? And it's sort of hard because when you're starting something new and you feel so vulnerable, you want to be able to hang your hat on some kind of evidence that it's worth it. But the only way you get the evidence is to just do it for a long time, and then you have evidence. So it's a little bit of like an Ouroboros of like a snake eating its own tail, So I'm going to take this for me as like a really wonderful reinforcement of like, anytime I get freaked out or think like, this is stupid, what am I doing? And comparing myself to other people, I'm going to just keep coming back to this of like, no, what I feel is real and true for me, and that can be trusted. I feel like that's what this is saying to us today. So here we have Beyond the Mind, the Heartbeats. Wonderful. So I'm feeling kind of like the next part of this, I'd like to go to Sacred Destiny Oracle. And for this one, we'll do a little past, present, future, just to kind of ground us a little bit and give us a little bit of a sense of like place on our journey. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, my more bleh, that didn't come out as English at all. My more orthodox shuffling method is gonna come through for us this time. All right, so what I'm going for here is just more of an inquiry, give us a little bit more texture and specifics around this situation. Okay, let's see. Past, present, future, past, present, present, future. Let's see. Oh, wow. Wow. All right, so for past, we have forgiveness. You can can see this is a person reaching up toward the sliver of a moon at twilight. So Denise Lynn says about forgiveness, sunset glow. As the sun sinks behind the horizon and the reds and oranges turn to the lavenders and deep purples of the ensuing night, the day is complete. Sunset signifies that a new cycle has begun. As each star emerges into the velvet sky, we enter a realm of the dark unknown, where magic and even the mystery of life itself seems to shimmer above us. To be regretting that the day is done is to miss the glory of the starry heavens above. Wow. The sacred landscape wants you to know it is human to want to hold on to the past, our memories, experiences, and relationships. However, there can be times when we are carrying so much of the past that we can't fully see the present. The past doesn't need to equal the future. Just because you had a pattern or a recurring challenge in the past doesn't mean that it needs to recur in the future. The key is to be willing and ready to simply and cleanly let go of the hold that the past has on you. The past is gone. It's okay to let it go. The way to do this is to fully immerse yourself in the here and now. Be super aware of the sights, sounds, smells, textures, and energy of your present. When you do this, the past simply vanishes and the glory of the present emerges. Whew. Wow. Oh my gosh. This is really feeling like an extension of yesterday's reading about the buffalo and tuning into the present in whatever way that you can, like physical ways to actually bring us into the present. So when she writes, you know, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the textures, the energy of your present, to me that really, when we clue into what's right here in front of us, it's just a really nice way to tell your whole system, hey, we're choosing to be here right now. We're part of this. We're part of this ecosystem of sights and smells, and we're choosing to have our attention be right here. And then, you know, what's so interesting is the present card, freedom. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful swallow. What's particularly interesting about this is it actually comes right next in the booklet. So forgiveness card and then freedom card, which I think is kind of a beautiful cadence in the first place. It's super interesting that we actually pulled both of these at the same time. So let's see what she says. Again, this is a reading for the present, like a reflection for the present. Cliff swallow. The swallow flies free on wind currents and thermals and remarkable aerial maneuvers, igniting the expression as free as a bird. That's nice. In many cultures, such as that of the ancient Egyptians, the swallow was thought to carry souls to heaven. Early sailors would tattoo themselves with an image of a swallow, so if they drowned, a swallow would carry their soul to the heavens. In poor light, a cliff swallow looks brownish gray. However, in good lighting, it is a luminous metallic dark blue. Cliff swallows traditionally make their nests on vertical cliffs, carefully crafting them out of mud. It's interesting. Although they can nest solitarily, they usually nest in colonies. When one finds a cloud of insects, it alerts the other members of the flock so they can all be nourished. Even though they fly free, their community supports them. Ooh, that's so great. The sacred landscape wants you to know, express yourself without hesitation. Break free and let your spirit fly. Make choices that increase your freedom. Don't be tied down. Laugh, dance, explore, and go beyond predictable behavior. Be daring. Cast aside restrictions. Find your wings. As you do, you'll help others find theirs. You are not here to be ordinary or live a mundane life. You are here to step beyond limitations and self-imposed boundaries. Do not be trapped by convention or the need to please others. Choose life on your terms. Don't accept rules that don't feel right. You can be immensely free and yet still be part of a loving, supportive community. Oh my goodness. How beautiful is that? I mean, how wonderful that Mother Nature is like, here, I'm going to give you this example of a way that you can be super free and also be super supported. Like, free doesn't mean alone. Free doesn't mean isolated. I feel so much freedom in my body just saying that out loud. Wow. So the third card, Sacred Destiny Oracle, I pulled this. This is to represent the future from this point forward. This is opportunity. Been getting this card a lot lately, especially in like new business endeavors. We hosted a really cool workshop for women who lead in sustainability recently, and right before that workshop, this is what we drew. It's opportunity. So you can see it's got a night sky and these beautiful trees and this really peaceful looking moon. So, opportunity, moon through the pine trees. I thought that was pine trees. You never want to be like pine trees and then it's like sycamore tree. I think this does look like a pine tree. Anyway, an occasional owl hoot and the song of a solo coyote punctuate the stillness in the forest as a traveler walks through the pines. Light from a waning moon filters down through the canopy of needles and cascades across the forest floor. Sometimes the trees obscure the moon, but sometimes its illumination clearly shows the path ahead. Pines are one of the most ancient plant genera on the planet. Ooh. They have existed nearly 3 times longer than all flowering plant species. Because most pines stay green all winter, they traditionally represent longevity, immortality, fertility, health, and abundance. The moon and her gossamer glow represents the feminine and receptive side of life. This is again it's the same theme as yesterday's reading for sure. Just as the moon receives and reflects the light of the sun, symbolically the moon represents receiving the goodness of the universe flowing to you. Gifts from the universe are ready to cascade into your life. Abundance, health, longevity, vitality, and joy are flowing to you gently and easily in the days ahead. Just think about the difference it makes today to hear that and to believe that and to walk in that. That's a huge difference. There may be times when the goodness of life feels like it is ebbing and flowing, hence the moon, rather than being a steady stream of fulfillment. This is similar to the moon peeking through the pine trees for a moment or two, but as you stay open and receptive, physical and emotional gifts will come into your life. Yeah. Accept what you receive in a spirit of gratitude. Your bounty will increase tenfold. This is universal law. Yeah, I feel like so many people that I know right now, my coaching clients, my friends, myself, are really feeling the call to more receptivity and more receiving. And again, we have so much conditioning that has us think we can't do that or it's hard to do. And I'm not here to say that it's not challenging if you're learning how to switch to that mode for the first time. But I think it can be helpful to think about it more like you're opening up to receiving more of like the sun is starting to rise, more so than it's like, oh shoot, I now have to know how to receive really well and, you know, sort of like the glaring of the summer sun right on you all the time. I think it's really powerful to just open up to it little by little. And if it's helpful, maybe do a little bit of reflection on, like at the end of the week, a little bit of a receiving roundup of like, wow, where did I receive this week in a way that was unexpected? What's something that I received that I wasn't categorizing as receiving? And maybe also we'd be really well served for like, how am I receiving my own sunshine that I so freely give to other people? How am I receiving it for me? Cool. All right, everybody. Hope you are doing great and having a wonderful week. And I hope that this was really nourishing and helpful. All right. See you later.